Welcome to Michelle's Podcast News, where we bring you the latest updates from the podcasting world. I'm your host, Michelle Tandler, and today we have some exciting news to share about Triton Digital's recent expansion. Triton Digital is making waves by expanding its podcast ranker coverage to Latin America. This move is part of their 2024 Insights report for the region, and it is shedding light on the burgeoning podcast market in Latin America. Along with the new dataset, Triton Digital is also debuting its inaugural Latin America Sales Network podcast ranker. This is a significant development for the podcasting industry in the region, as it provides comprehensive insights into listening trends from June 2023 to May 2024. According to the report, news podcasts are leading in popularity, accounting for 32% of downloads. They are followed by comedy podcasts, which make up 17% of the downloads. Some of the top new podcasts highlighted in the report include A Coach by Wondery and El Cielo que Nunca Vi by SiriusXM Podcast Network. One standout episode was Manchester City y la Gloria del Mundial de Clubes from Titulares Deportivos by Grupo Blue Radio, which was noted as the most downloaded episode. This highlights the diverse range of content that is resonating with listeners in the region. The report also provides insights into the platforms leading the podcast space. Spotify is at the forefront, leading in new episode RSS downloads with a 32% share. Meanwhile, Prisa Radio is topping the charts for webcast streaming. The June 2024 Latin America Podcast Ranker showcases the top 100 podcasts in the region. Leading the pack are Los 40 MX, La Corneta by Prisa Radio, Me Recentes by Radio's Grupo Globo, and O Asunto by Grupo Globo. New entries for June included Malu Gaspar, Conversa de Politica by Radio's Grupo Globo, and La Viuda Negra by Sirius XM Podcast Network. Oscar Cermeno, the Vice President of Market Strategy for the Americas at Triton Digital, expressed his excitement about the launch of the first Latin America Sales Network podcast ranker. He said, "We are excited to launch the first Latin America Sales Network podcast ranker, which marks a significant milestone for the podcasting industry in the region." This report not only highlights the incredible growth in the Latin America podcast landscape, but also provides invaluable insights for advertisers and publishers looking to engage with a highly dynamic and evolving audience. This expansion by Triton Digital is a clear indication of the growing importance of the Latin American market in the global podcasting industry. It is certainly an exciting time for podcasters, advertisers, and listeners alike as the industry continues to evolve and expand. In other podcasting news, the Locked On Podcast Network is expanding its reach by launching 2 new sports-specific FAST TV channels. These channels, Locked On NFL and Locked On College Sports, are set to debut today, August 1st, 2024. Locked On NFL will feature a robust lineup of the network's national NFL programs. This includes shows like Locked On NFL Scouting, Locked On NFL Draft, Locked On Fantasy Football, Locked On Dynasty Football, Peacock and Williams, the NFL Show, and Locked On NFL. In addition to these national programs, the channel will also spotlight Locked On's local NFL team shows, providing localized coverage of the biggest stories in the NFL. And for something new, they are introducing the NFL Big Six in 60, a show specifically designed for FAST TV. This show will cover the 6 biggest stories in the NFL each day, all within an hour from the perspective of Locked On's local experts. Meanwhile, Locked On College Sports will feature Locked On College Football and Locked On College Basketball, as well as conference-specific shows like Locked On SEC, Locked On Big Ten, Locked On ACC, Locked On Big 12, and Locked On HBCU. The channel will also highlight team-centric shows when major stories in college sports arise. Similar to its NFL counterpart, Locked On College Sports is debuting the College Big Six in 60, which will cover the 6 biggest college sports stories daily, leveraging insights from Locked On's local experts. David Locke, the president of Locked On, expressed his enthusiasm about the launch, stating, "NFL and college sports fans are going to love this. We're thrilled to introduce our Locked On local experts and hosts' unique insights to an even wider audience of fans through the addition of these new fast channels. During the sports seasons, both channels will air the ultimate post-game show on weekends after games, covering the biggest college and NFL games of the weekend. These new channels, Locked On NFL and Locked On College Sports, are the network's 5th and 6th FAST TV channels, respectively. The network already has a national sports channel, Locked On Sports Today, which streams on platforms like Fubo TV, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube, NewsOn, and Zeem. Locked On Sports Today has seen significant success, with over 1.725 million views in June alone, from nearly 900,000 unique viewers and more than 22 million minutes of content consumed across video on demand and FAST TV. Other channels in the Locked On network include Locked On Sports Los Angeles, Locked On Sports Atlanta, and Locked On Sports Dallas, which are also available on Amazon Fire TV, NewsOn, Zeem, and YouTube. Founded in 2016, the Locked On Podcast Network produces over 180 podcasts, providing in-depth coverage of every National Basketball Association, National Football League, Major League Baseball, and National Hockey League team, as well as major college sports teams. The network publishes more than 700 podcast episodes each week, generating 13 million listens and views per month. Locked On is owned by Tegna Incorporated, a leading local broadcast and digital media company that operates 64 broadcast stations in 51 markets across the United States. That wraps up today's episode of Michelle's Podcast News. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Michelle Tandler, and we'll be back tomorrow with more updates from the podcasting world.